great things happened, but I also remember 28 to like 30 being insanely difficult for me.
I'll be 28 next year. And,
are you going through anything similar? Does my theory hold up?
Let's just say sure.
Yeah?
Let's just say, life is interesting right now.
Now, why is it interesting?
It's got its boxing gloves on. Let's put it that way.
Now, is that because, for me, it was because it was a very complicated romantic relationship. At the same time, dreams were coming true. I was involved in this thing where I was like, this is brutal, man. Same with you?
I'm just counting. Keep going.
Okay. and also, you're ascending as a comedian, so I was ascending as well. And also, I think, now I don't think this is you, but for myself, I also had no balance in how to hold my insecurities in high pressure situations. So I was like
We're 5 for 5 right now.
Oh, interesting.
We are 5 for 5.
How can I help you?
Oh, just tell me it's going to be okay.
No, this is the truth. No, I'm glad you said that because I sincerely believe this. It really will be okay. And it's never on the timetable that we want.
Yeah.
But it is going to be okay. It just takes a little while for things to untangle. Because right now, I think about this stuff a lot. Right now, whatever your thing is, you're like this with it. So eventually, as maybe not years, but even at like a little bit of time, you'll get this and you'll be like, okay. And maybe it won't make as much sense, but I'm a firm believer that with time and perspective, like everything, you're like, okay. Do you think there's a reason you're going through these things?
Oh, yeah.
What is the reason?
Me.
That's great. That's it. That's insightful.
Oh, yeah. No, it's funny.
Because why? Why do you say that?
Well, because it's interesting because like a lot of introspective work that I do comes through prayer. And it comes through my relationship with God, my relationship with Christ. And I'm like, you know what? Life is what it is. And there's things that have had, like, I just got passed up for 2 management positions at my job that like, everyone was like, yeah, you're the dude. But it just didn't happen. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm very thankful that, like, that, like, the job that I currently have, I thoroughly enjoy. I still make enough money for what I do.
Sure.
But that's like everybody's, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, I take, you know, in the introspective work that I do, like, I take a lot of solace and then I take a lot of challenge in the fact that, like, 90% of the issues that I have in my life are because of things that I've done or haven't done.
Very responsible.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's a good position to be in. Because if 90% of life's issues are things out of your control, you're really fucked. Yeah. But if 90% of life's issues are because of you, you can at least fix you so that those issues don't come like and keep biting you over and over and over and over and over. And that's where I take a lot of solace. And I think there's a lot of learning curves. You know what I mean? It's part of growing up.
Sure.
But I'm also, you know, I turn 28 next year, and growing up is almost grown up. So it's time to, like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, but also remember to cut yourself slack too, because what I'm learning more and more, I'm like you. I constantly want to improve myself always, no matter what it is. A little bit of health, definitely with work and writing and the shows that I'm lucky enough to do. But especially with me and how I see the world and the wisdom that I like to pass on to people is like, remember, like, thoughts, like, I identifying with your thoughts is, and that's good thoughts and bad thoughts, it's no way to go.
Yeah.
And what helped me a lot, because I believe in God and I believe in the eternal energy that comes from God. I really believe in that. I think everyone is connected. And I think we're eternal energy. And now we're in these forms where we put so much stake into, for me sometimes it's like what I look like and how long can I work in this business and all these weird identity forms. But that's all just shit that we've created.
Well, it is, but then there's also real life consequences.
Oh yes, I mean I'm not saying like
you're not. I know you're not excluding that, but then, like, that's where my brain immediately goes to, where it's like, yes, you are correct, but it's all based off of a consequence. You know what I mean? It's all like, a lot of it anyway.
So give me an example.
So, like, okay, if I don't continue to do well, I'll take the easy one out of the way. If I don't continue to do well in my professional career, if I don't continue to show up and produce the results that I'm producing, I potentially could get fired, which means, you know, I lose everything that's around me. Because this is the passion right here. Podcasting, stand-up, that's the passion.
Yeah.
But the passion is fueled by the professional job, 9 to 5, that I have right now.
Of course.
And then outside of that You know, because I've had it. I only started doing stand-up like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So with the 2024 that I've had, because right now it's like what the 18th right now, the 17th, 18th.
Yeah.
With the year that I've had, if you would have told me a year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half ago, that hey, if you start stand-up now, this is where you'll be at the end of 2024, I probably would tell you to go fuck yourself.
Right.
Because there's no way that's possible.
That's
but
great, yeah.
all the things happened,
Yeah.
and thankfully, I mean, there have been numerous, whether they're open mics or just actual shows where I just went up and bombed
Of course.
my dick off.
Nature of the beast.
Nature of the beast, right? Especially a year and a half in.
And you know what's good? What I've learned, especially with improvising, which sometimes is even riskier because you got no prepared stuff going on, is all those scars and bombings and pain. They develop this weird callus where you become invincible eventually. It takes so long. But Stephen Colbert has a great thing where he's like, you got to learn to love the bomb.
Yeah.
To like, and I am very fortunate. It took a long time, but I have that where if it's a small house on these tours or whatever it is, and I go, it's gonna be work. I still will take risks or take chances because I'm like, they can't hurt me. You know, like I want to do well. I want to keep my jobs.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, keep your jobs too. Here's something that I've learned as well that can maybe help you is the best way to do that is not to forecast what could go wrong, but to be as present as possible with this is stuff that everybody knows, but be as present as possible with what you're doing now.
Well, I think people know that, but they don't realize that.
Well, it's kind of like I think a lot about humanity in general. And I think the weirdest thing for me about humanity is we all know, like, you only have so much time, you know, on this weird planet that we're on. But it doesn't really, you can't wrap your head around it. It's like at night, I live out where you can see beautiful stars every night. And I make it a point to look up there. And when you see that, it puts everything into perspective on how tiny we are. But does it really does it change my behavior? I don't know. I think about it, but does it make me really take more risk and realize like I'm a speck of nothing in a giant thing? Yeah. Does it make me go big? Not lately. I wish it did.
Well, I think, at least for me anyway, that type of perspective makes me lighter. And that's what mushrooms really did a lot for me.
Okay.
Mushrooms did a lot of that for me. Where like,
do you microdose still or anything?
No, I haven't taken mushrooms in actually a little over coming on 4 years now.
Okay.
January will be 4 years.
And you did it regularly?
Well, not regularly, because me and my buddies, we were young and dumb, and we didn't understand the gravity of like what mushrooms could really be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it would always just be like I would take them like maybe 3 times a year over this like 3 or 4 year span.
Yeah.
And so we had no real idea clearly of what a heavy dose actually is. So we would like mess around with like 4 or 5 grams.
You were flying without any like any what's it called? Gauges.
Yeah. We'd just be like 3, 4, 5 grams, just hang out, have a good time, get all happy, watch stupid shit on YouTube, whatever. And what I liked about it a lot was like I would always like look up at the stars, and I just get real like emotional about that or whatever.
Yeah.
But then what ended up happening, what really like helped me grow a lot using that was it showed me how like positive I could be. Because for the longest time dealt with severe depression, severe anxiety like no other.
Okay.
But then it also turned out that I had a very, very low testosterone level. But I found that out thanks to the VA. But
God bless the VA.
Yeah, I don't say that ironically. Just like I got my blood work done, and they're like, "Hey, man, here's why you feel this way." But
and you were able to correct that, or
I was. Yeah,
good for you.
But the last 2 times that I took mushrooms, October of 2020, me and all my buddies, because we thought we were going to be smart, and we were like, "Hey, listen, we're going to pool our money together. We'll just buy a bunch of mushrooms for all of us, and we'll like take them sparingly."
I find any time when the plan involves we're gonna pool all our money together Oh, that's a bad idea. Whether it's a pony keg or 20 grams of mushroom, anytime it's like, hey, it's like, hey, what do you have in your pockets? Let's put all our money in the thing.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah, so we, well, I'm...
Whether it's a timeshare...
I'm glad...
whatever it is, that's a road to ruin.
Yeah, well, because we all thought, like, we'll just buy a bunch of mushrooms, we'll divvy them up, and we'll take, like, we'll have 8 grams for every one of us, and we'll take it, like,
per person
over the span of a year.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
But then, when we had all the mushrooms in one place, we were like, what if we did 8 grams now?
What Bill Hicks used to call a heroic dose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we all take 8 grams. And it was good for like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. It was really good. And then it just we were like time bombs. It's like it was me and like 4 of my there was 5 of us. It was like me and 4 of my other buddies. Yeah. And like time bombs. He set off. I set off.
What does set off mean?
It just
turns, everything turns?
Turned. The trip just turned, and it became just the worst ego death for all of us.
Well, that's not necessarily bad, but when you're expecting something different.
Yeah, we never.
What does that mean? You realize you're minuscule?
Oh, well, no, I didn't know who I was. No, I completely, like, it's like my brain, like, you ever, like, format a hard drive?
Yeah.
It's like my brain got formatted. Like, I didn't know who I was. There was no data. Like, who I was, where I was, what I was, none of that. And it's funny because, like, people always say if you're taking mushrooms, you're taking acid, don't look in the mirror. But I always did that when I was on mushrooms. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But we were in my buddy's apartment at the time. We're all losing our minds. And I'm literally walking around this little 700 square foot apartment holding myself like this.
That's not good.
And then I turn and I look in the mirror and I see myself. And I, like, snap out of it for, like, 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, good job, buddy. You're the guy that ruined his life with drugs.
That's deep.
No more life, no more job, no more girlfriend, no more anything. You think about this? You're thinking about doing a podcast? Yeah, no podcast. That's not happening. They're going to throw you in a padded cell.
So when you say ego death, you mean bottom out.
Oh yeah. And then I, like, snapped out of it and went back to like just the worst feeling I've ever felt. And it's funny because, like, in the Bible they talk about. The way that one of the ways hell is described is the absence of God. And I, like, felt a little bit of that. Yeah. And I remember coming out of it, and I had one of my buddies drive me to my place. I grabbed stuff and crashed in my buddy's apartment, and I bought him a pack of cigarettes and all this. I remember we were driving back, we were smoking a cigarette in his car, and I was like, dude, that fucking sucked. Dude, that was horrible. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, that was pretty bad. I was like, all right. So we moved forward from that. And in January of the following year comes around, like, I'm going to take like 2 grams only.
Worst experience of my life. And we got some left.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just going to take 2 grams, start the new year right. Because maybe it's the one-off time, whatever. Yeah. No, 2 grams. I only took like 1.5 grams. So I had like a smoothie and there's still some left.
Okay.
1.5 grams treated me like 8. But what that really taught me was, like, that was such a painful experience. Yeah. Nothing in life, and there's been some pretty shitty things since. Sure. Really shitty things. But nothing in life before that or after that since has been anywhere close as tormenting as that.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, so it's a blessing. Okay. So I was like, hey, like, take life seriously. Yeah. But, like, hey, it's not that bad. Yeah. If you just keep going forward, it's gonna be okay.
What I'm trying to do now in my life is surrender to everything. I'm trying to do this to everything. Yeah. That doesn't mean I don't care. When I'm working or performing, I care, and I want the audience to have as much fun as possible.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at Chop Chili Company. Guys, they are the original sponsor of this podcast, and I could not be happier to continue to be working with these guys. I get it. It's New Mexico. Everyone loves red, green, both. But this genuinely is my favorite brand of chili here in the state of New Mexico, and I love being able to partner up with these guys. They are absolutely phenomenal. Zane and the rest of the team at Chop Chili do an amazing job running that company, and they make an absolutely phenomenal product. And right now, they are running a very special promotional on their Instagram. Go check them out on Instagram. Go give them a follow. And as they post pictures with the hashtag Where's My Chili Challenge, if you can guess where in New Mexico that picture was taken, you can win not only free red or green chili, but also a free custom t-shirt directly from the company themselves. Again, go check them out on Instagram, give them a follow, check out their hashtag Where's My Chili Challenge. Win yourself some free chili, win yourself some free shirts. They are also available in Smith's, Albertsons, Sprouts, and a ton of other grocery stores in the state of New Mexico, as well as El Paso, and they are expanding out to West Texas. Again, thank you so much to Zane and the rest of his amazing team over at Chop Chili. Back to the episode.